What's your favorite thing to do in the summertime and why? I'd say swimming is one of my favorite things, but recently the pool down the street had to be closed because the house got a new owner. So, I mean, I guess I could go over there and be like, do you know how long I've been swimming at this pool? Like, since I was 2. But, I mean, I guess I could do that, but other than that, I don't really have a place to swim now, so I guess I'd have to go to the YMCA during the summer to swim, but that's one of my favorite things. I also just love having free time, so I like to read a lot of books. And then this past summer, I was able to go to my first national park, so I went to the Grand Canyon with my friend Bear and my friend Em on a pretty extreme road trip. It was a lot of fun, and I hope that in the future I can have a lot more free time in the summer to take road trips, because those are always a lot of fun, and I love seeing different parts of the country that I've never seen before. And I also think that the summer is a really good time to visit national parks. I know that it's pretty touristy during the summer, but I kind of like that because you see everyone's out seeing the same things, and you know that people are enjoying it. So other than that, I just like when Ted's home and I can spend time with him and watch movies and just hang out with friends. So it's a good time. I like it. I like summer. It used to be my favorite season just because of all the free time, but now I like every season equally. So yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay. Did you and your mother share an interest in any special activity? I guess the main special activity would have been softball, since Mom was always out playing softball with us and playing on some of your teams, in fact. But mostly just the fact that we practiced softball constantly out in the front yard and played catch, and went to ball games all the time in the summer, and went to a lot of Pat's ball games. And so there's many places where I had like car sickness by the time I got there, because that was my favorite special activity when I got in a car. Other than that, I mean, we didn't really sew together. My mom sewed for me, but mostly the night before I needed something. She was under the pressure of staying up all night, and I went to bed. So I think the special activity would have to be softball. And we also laid out in the sun together, though. We did lay out and get suntanned, and both like to put the baby oil on and fry up our skin pretty good. But we were tanning, so that was fun.
Joy. It was hard. Oh my goodness. Your favorite story from Scripture? Well, I don't know a story from Scripture.
Well, you do, but I don't know how you guess it.
I mean, there are a lot of wonderful stories from Scripture, I'm sure. But I could never retell one.
How about Sunday school?
It's just so hard for me to remember things like that. I know, but I will say that 5 or 6 years ago, I attended a Wednesday night learning series at Trinity Church where they started talking fairly in depth about the Gospels, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, and then I learned so much about the Gospels just during that time, like stuff I had never known before. But that was interesting for me because then I read them more deeply. And just talking about, even though in the Bible it's Matthew then Mark, actually Mark was before Matthew, or in age, I guess. But then I can't remember which one of those it is where it just starts with the lineage, and it starts with goes all the way to Joseph, the father of Jesus. I don't know which one of those books starts that way, but I've always thought that was really interesting to be so detailed in the lineage of Joseph, because he didn't make Jesus. So he was a nice guy. And he said, I'll stay with you even though you're pregnant with a child that doesn't belong to me. So that's pretty cool. But I just think that's so fascinating that it's so important we know his lineage when he was not Jesus' father. So there's that. And then the only other thing I have for this topic is that it's not a story, but there's the chapter in Romans 8 that just says, who shall separate you from the love of Christ? And then it just, names all these horrible things, and as horrible as they are, they can't separate you from Christ's love. And so that's not a story, but it's my favorite chapter in the Bible.
I don't know. Have you ever stood up for what you believe, even when it was very hard to tell about it?
Wow.
That's a little too heavy. I think how I stand up is to sit down. No, I think I do back off. Like, well, the teacher there at the dinner table, I didn't question her. She said the teachers weren't any good, the schools weren't any good, and I know better than that. But I didn't do anything about it. But there again, there's a time and place for everything, and that really wasn't it. We got all these sick people sitting around here, and her husband's got bad things wrong with him. So I guess the chicken out that time was okay. But yeah, I stood up for things I believed at work. I got myself in trouble at work different times. I walked out on Scherzer, the county commissioner, when he started swearing at me. He said, you think you know exactly. I got up and left. I didn't have to listen to that. So I left. And I stood up, the rest of the whole table of men and me. And I'll never get over that. But at work, I had to stand out for things I believed shouldn't happen. And yes, it's hard to, a lot of times it's hard to stand up for what you really believe. And raising kids, you have to stand up for things you believe. And some of them are harder than others. But tell about it, it hurts when you go against the grain. It always makes you feel like that black chicken out there. He's taking care of himself, and he doesn't belong over here. But I'm just rattling, so I'm gonna quit.
Last night, what do you remember? Well, I really don't remember dreaming anything last night, but the night before, it was one of those go back and fix it kind of dreams, and it was with some courthouse people, oddly enough. And it was just, I'd go over here and there'd be a little group, and I'd say, now we need to go from here to here. And then all of a sudden everybody would be gone, and I'd go around the corner and there'd be another little group, and I'd say, now we need to go from here to here. And then poof. And I never got all the right groups in the right place. So it was one of those, I'm going to keep doing this till I get it right, and I never got it right kind of dreams.